Lordy, lordy. All right. Good morning. A little bit of computer error on my part, but we're here. So let's sit well. And even Adriana, take your mat all the way to the wall. So we're going to be playing with the wall today, hence the way I'm set up. So please take your mat if you can and bring it right, the short edge of your mat, right to your wall, because we're going to use that pretty extensively today. But for starters, let's just sit well. And if you're at your wall and you want to, you're welcome to lean up against the wall and feel that. So, but otherwise, whew. And if you're sitting on your mat, like two of my lovely people are today, you can face forward, you can face the long edge of your mat. So if you wanted to, you don't have to, you can just turn around and face and sit on the long side of the mat as opposed to the short side so that you are hopefully facing the camera. And again, adjust as you need to, because I know we're all doing Zoom in different ways. Okay, so with that, let's come into center. Let's find the center of our mats and the center of our bodies. And imagine that plumb line going from the crown of the head, the very center of the crown of the head, down through the center line of the body, all the way down to the perineum. And feel the shoulders start to move to the side body, not overly, not by squeezing and scrunching, but just by finding those small adjustments in the body. Feel the chest rise and the tailbone descend, and notice what you feel as you sit, right? What parts of your body are touching. Always know that you can sit in any other way, especially if you have knee pain or hip pain. You can always put blocks under the knees to support your pose. But come here into the breath. Find the center of the breath. So maybe a really nice long inhale to the count of 5. And a pause at the top of that. And then an exhale for the count of 5. And an inhale. Pausing at the top of the breath. Exhaling, count of 5. Good. Few more rounds here. Remembering that pause to feel that stillness. And then the exhale. Good. One more round right here. Inhaling, count of 5. Pausing at the top. Exhaling, count to 5. And then let the eyes open up, start to roll the shoulders. And then just roll one shoulder. Just take it up and down, up and down. Good. Couple more. Starting to soften up, right? Especially in the mornings. Good. Switch to the other side. We can sleep funny. Our necks can be stiff. All that funky, yucky stuff. Good. One more big circle. And then if it is okay for your neck, drop ear to one ear to one shoulder. Woo! Take that opposite hand, just let the fingertips come to the floor. Soften the jaw, right? Oh, speaking of, forgot my teeth things. Whoops. Breathe, everybody. Just let gravity do the work. Don't pull, don't tug. Find your breath. And then look down at that same side chest, but don't let the chest itself collapse. That's it. And then take the head down to the chest, right in the center. Let the hand come back to the knee. Hold here. Again, try not to round the upper back. And if you know this is not appropriate for your neck, please don't do it, or do a little softer version of it. And then go to the other side, ear toward shoulder. Ooh, Lordy. And take the fingertips off to the side. And just pause for a moment. So in today's class, we'll be doing plenty of movement, but we're also going to be doing some poses where we stay and explore. And believe it or not, this is one of them, right? Like, what's happening in the head, in the neck? What happens if you lift the chin a little bit, not high, but lift it so it feels a little more neutral, or just slightly lifted? Good, and then drop chin toward that side chest. Whew. Try not to let the chest sink. And then chin to chest, hand goes back to your knee, and then slowly peel that head back up to neutral. Inhale, reach the arms up. You're going to interlace very softly at the back of the head, not the neck, but the head. Press the head back into the hands and press the shoulders wide. And breathe. Now, again, only if it's appropriate, keep the hands where they are and lift the head or lift the chin so you're looking up at the ceiling. If you tend to get a little dizzy here, I would keep this a very small movement. Breathe, squeeze the back shoulder blades and head back to neutral. Release the hands. Good. Roll the shoulders. We got one more here. Good. So everything nice and neutral. Just take the head to one side. You're looking off to the side. Try to keep the opposite shoulder back. In fact, let's take that opposite arm out, internally rotate it, and then bring it back behind you so that you've got that shoulder more or less pinned back so that it doesn't compensate and try to come into that stretch. Good. Soft, soft, soft. Don't overdo it. If you have pain, come off of the stretch until there's no pain. And take the head back to neutral. Release that arm. Go to the other side. First, turn the head. That might be plenty enough. So even for me, right, I notice opposite shoulder wants to roll with me. My neck's been tight lately. Take the opposite arm out. Reach it behind your back. Maybe you can tap your arm on that side, maybe not. Keeping the shoulders square. That's it. Whoo, yeah. And breathe. What are we doing to ourselves, I tell you? And bring the head back to center. Release. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to your heart. And shake it out. Let's straighten the legs. Get out of that cross-legged position. Just give them a good shake. Maybe even lean back and give the ankles a nice little circle. And then circle the other way. Ooh, yeah. And then point and flex like you're stepping on a gas pedal. And shake that out. So you're going to come close enough to your wall. So we're going to start that wall work so that your hand, when you stretch that hand out or that arm out, your fingertips come to the wall with a pretty straight arm. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but just, pretty straight arm, and that shoulder can open up. Now, find your thumb, find that thumb, and point the thumb up toward the ceiling. Now, the challenge here is not to go too high with the arm. So you're on fingertips, not palms. So fingertips, Lenny. Yep. So the palm is away like you're holding a little ball. Yep, that's good. And then you're going to shift away from that pose. So or from that arm. So we're going to do this standing, but we're going to start with the seat, because all I want to do is try to move the chest away and take the opposite arm behind me. Should feel a bit of a stretch in the arm and in the chest. Breathe. You can also take that back hand and reach it behind you like we did before. And just breathe. Watch the tension, head, neck, all that stuff. Keep the head, neck relatively neutral here. So I'm not really turning the head. Adriana, I wouldn't even turn that much, right? Keep that head more in line with either the chest, the center of the chest, or that side of the chest. Good. Breathe. And come back to center and release. One more on this side. Shake out that hand. Take the hand down to the floor, close to the wall. Take the other arm up. Good. So we've done this so many times now, right? I want you to reach first. Get some space there. Notice the difference between here's extended, here's extended. I probably went 2 inches higher. And then your choice, start to head toward the wall. Some of you are going to find the wall. Oh boy, that's a big old stretch. And tricky, right? Can we keep the arm at the side body, not rolling forward? Keep the arm extended. Don't make it overreach, right? If you've got to come off wall, come off wall. And breathe. Press down through that other side hip. Reach the fingers up. Breathe. Try not to drop the head to the shoulder. That's it. Breathe. I know, big stretch. And then reach it up. Whew, and exhale down. Roll it out, everybody. All right, we're going to go to the other side. Unfortunately, wall, right, one-sided. So I got to put my back to you. Hang in there. I know. I wish I had 2 walls. So same thing on this side. We're going to find the distance. So turn yourself around. Find the distance for your arm. The arm stretches out straight out from your shoulder. And then find your thumb and walk it so that it's pointed up toward the ceiling. That should externally rotate that arm. And then walk your chest away. Take that other hand behind you. And just maybe notice the difference. So you're on fingertips. You got a little cage underneath your palm. The head is relatively neutral, right? Don't overstretch the neck here. And then if you want that opposite side hand, will go behind your back. The chest lifts, the arm externally rotating. We're getting into some nice little sensation here maybe. And breathe. And again, if there's no wall to be had, no solid surface to be had, just play here and see what you can do. And then release that. Let that hand come down. Take the hand to the wall. Take the other arm up. First reach. Let's get some space between the hips and the fingers. And then come on over. Maybe you find your wall, right? Maybe not. It's tricky. I'm probably overreaching just a little, even though I told you not to, right? Because I really want that wall. Here's the goal. But really the goal is this just beautiful side body stretch. Find your breath. Notice how you feel here. What's the body doing or want to do, right? Can we stay side body oriented here? Whew. And then reach up. Whew. And exhale. Shake it out. I'm going to turn myself back around so I can at least see who's out there. All right. So you're going to take the leg closest to the wall and you're going to bring it to the wall. You're going to fold up the other leg. So half of a wide leg seated forward fold. And I want you to feel this. So as best you can, you're planting that pinky edge of your foot against the wall, whatever part of that wall you have, and just feel this stretch. If you have knee pain, right, this extended leg in particular, put something under it, your blanket or a block or something. And if this knee is way high up, definitely a blanket under that. And then take the hands behind you and kind of lift your hips up off the floor. And then scoot them back down so you feel both sit bones. And notice the work here. So the beauty of the wall as a teacher and as a prop is that we get to see what it means, right? We're doing a little bit of isometric work here. You should be feeling that. I'm pushing into that wall, with 20, 30% of that leg. So this whole leg is super active. First thing I want you to do is just take the fingertips forward and imagine somebody's pulling your hips forward and the fingertips back. So I don't want you to come into a forward fold here. I want you to just lean forward, just a little bit. Lean forward and feel what may be happening. You know, everybody's body's different, but what might be happening right here, right in that leg. Because it, can anybody feel that? Can you feel that? Yeah. And breathe. Maybe you go one fingers tips worth forward more. Keep the shoulders wide, keep the hips level, push that foot into the wall a little bit. Yeah, level out the pelvis, and then come on up. Whew. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, one hand down, one arm to the wall, toward the wall. Don't force it, right? Find your breath. Keep pressing that leg softly, right? 20, 30% into the wall. Find your breath. That's it. And then reverse, keep pressing the wall, but take the hand down and find like the biggest space between the hip and the fingertips. Good. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Push up. Exhale to your heart. Roll the shoulders back. Woo! Bring that leg in, both legs straight, and shake it out, right? It's amazing what a little bit of work, like a little bit of resistance gives us. Turn yourselves around, do the hokey pokey. Good. Sorry to have my back to you. I don't ever really love that, but we got to do what we got to do. So, foot is to the wall, your leg is straight upright, you know, your knees pointing up, your toes are pointing up. You've got that leg to the wall. Lean back a little bit. Lift your hips, kind of scoot the hips back, and then set it right back down again. And place your fingertips just in front of you. So we already know what we're doing. You don't have to see my fingertips doing anything. Make sure you're noticing, right? If a knee hurts, a hip hurts, change something. Often we have to bring those hips up a little bit on a blanket. Good. Breathe, everyone. Pressing into the wall, 20, 30%. Don't overdo it. It could be 10%. Maybe walk the fingertips a little further forward. Open the shoulders. Imagine you're trying to drag the fingertips back, even as those hip points are drawing forward. Good. Breathe, everybody. Nice stretch for that inner thigh, hopefully, right? Without overdoing it, without overdoing those stretches. Good. Take the torso upright. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, the hand closest to the wall goes to the floor and the other one opens up. Here we are in this nice, really sweet little side bend again. Try to keep the torso long and center lined, right? So I'm not rolling the shoulder forward. I'm finding that nice little opening. The fingertips maybe even walk up the wall a little bit. And then reverse both hands up. Exhale, one hand down, the other one over. Now watch, I'm not like tucking down toward the floor. I'm trying to create space from the hip to the fingertips. Press down through that long leg, open it up, press into the wall, and inhale, take both arms up. Exhale to your heart and straighten those legs in front of you or turn yourself around again. Shake it out. I know, this is just great stuff, isn't it? All right, so then I want you to face the wall and take both feet to the wall. And same, right? So same thing. If you can, I want you to lift your hips and like press your little sit bones back and then sit down again and see if you can keep really good contact of feet to walls. I tend to move my toes off the wall just so I can feel the ball mound more, maybe scoot into the wall even more than you think. And hands to your sides, Dandasana pose. right? Sweet little pose. Now feel your legs, because when we have something to press against, right, we have more feedback. We go, oh, there's the quads, there's the legs being active. That's what that means. So nice tone to the belly. The shoulders are square. Inhale, optionally, take those arms up and imagine pressing the legs down to the floor as the arms reach overhead. Whoo! Feel the activity, my darlings, right? This is so awesome. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go. Woo! Just kind of shake those legs out. We got one more here. You may or may not need your block. We're going to do Janu Sirsasana at the wall, which means I'm just going to take, for me, I'm going to take the right foot in. I'm going to turn it out to the side. You may want to block underneath that right knee, especially if it's really off the floor, because you don't want the restriction at the inner thigh stopping you from the forward fold, if that makes sense. So here we are again. The hips are pretty even. I'm pressing into the wall. I've got a nice tall torso. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive toward the wall. Now listen up. 2 options. 1, fingertips to the wall because your hamstrings say, oh yeah, or hands to the floor because that's just way too deep this early in class. So you decide. Please don't overdo it, and please try not to round your back. Breathe. I'm pressing my big toe mound into the wall pretty hard right now. Find your breath. So imagine that even though you're pressing against the wall, you're trying to draw the thigh bone back into the socket. I'm gazing at the wall, but I'm not cranking up at my neck. I'm kind of looking about where my thumbs are on the wall. Find your breath, everybody. Soften. Big deep breath. Big exhale. Good. One more big deep breath. Big exhale. Push off the wall. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale those hands to your heart. Release the bent knee. Come back to Dandasana, hands down. And breathe. And notice, right, I actually scooted. I didn't have as much contact with the wall when I went to Dandasana, so I just scoot forward about a 1/2 inch. Good, nice tall pose. Maybe take the arms up. That changes the whole pose. Breathe. And exhale, hands down. Good. Shake them just a minute, less than a minute, a second. And then let's go to the other side. So left foot is in. You know where to go and what to do, right? Hopefully you've been taking my classes long enough that if this hurts your knee to bend it like that, just take it out further, or even take it out straight, or put a block under it. Always take care of your body as best you can. I know I need to do that more myself. So find your Dandasana, or sorry, Janu. Level out the hips, sit really tall, and then inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Just check that part out, right? There's the hamstrings right there. And then decide, see, if I reach for the wall on this side, it's a little too far. Always my right leg's tighter than my left. So I'm going to take my fingertips to the floor and give it a moment. Just start to breathe wherever you are. If I reach for the wall here and my hammy's not open enough, right? What am I going to do? I'm going to compromise the low back or round into my back. It's not worth that. So take some nice deep breaths. Breathe, exhale it long. If you feel some opening and you want to go for the wall, do that. If not, trust yourself here. Still, it's too tight for me. Good. Breathe, everybody. Ground the long leg, lengthen through your spine. Try to keep the shoulders open. That's it. We have 2 more long breaths here. So we play, right? What is the goal? Like, even for me on this side, it's like I want to go for the wall, but my body's going, I don't think that's a great idea. So I have to resist my ego and go, okay, this is it on this side. It'll open up a little bit more later. Maybe it's just not ready yet. Woo! All right, come on out of that pose. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to your heart. Release the bent knee. Take it back to the wall. Press your feet into the wall. Let the hands come down. Nice little Dandasana. Whew, good. And listen up. So from here, we're just going to take a moment on our back. So take the arms forward. Your feet are pushing into the wall. See if you can keep contact as long as you can. Take your body all the way down. Bend your knees. Whoo, and bring your knees to your chest. That's it. Find your nice stretch, little bit of release for that back. As when you're doing that kind of wall work, you can get into the back a little bit. Take your hands around or underneath your right knee. Press your left leg really straight. Keep it hovering. And then push your right knee away from you. So you're holding on to the knee, but you're pressing it away. The left leg is elevated just a little bit. From here, point your toes on the left side or both, because it's hard to do one and then the other. And then slowly lift your left leg up toward the ceiling, flex your foot, and slowly lower it down toward the floor. Don't go all the way. Point your toes, slowly lift. Flex your foot, slowly lower. We got one more here. Keep pushing your right knee away. Point your toes and lift. Flex your foot and lower. And then bring the left knee to your chest. Switch sides. Hold on to the left knee. Straighten the right leg. Hover it a couple of inches. And push your left leg away from your left knee. Good. Pause here for a moment. And then point your toes. And bring the leg up slow. Flex your foot and lower just as slow. Good. Point and lift. Flex and lower. One more. Point. Slowly lift. Flex and slowly lower. Both knees to chest, everybody. I want you to roll the knees to one side and come on up. Oh, lovely, lovely. All right. So you're going to come to table pose with your feet at the wall. And I will say that if you have a baseboard like we do here, you just got to watch. It can be a little yicky on the feet. So if it is, you just move the feet away and don't worry about it. Now, if you're at the wall, here's the thing. You got to tuck your toes under if you can. Okay, if your toes are pointed straight down, that's just going to hurt. So, Sissy, if you can bring your toes forward, so that they're stretching, yes. And then you're on table pose so that when you come up to downward facing dog, because that's where we're going, adjust your feet so that there's nothing hurting, right? If you've had foot surgery or anything, can be really tricky. And then without even looking at Adriana, I'm going to probably tell her to lengthen her down dog because that's what she does. And then everybody look at your feet, look at your ankles, look at the legs that are pressing now against the wall and see if you can find levelness. If I do nothing, my feet roll out to the sides. So I'm going to draw the ankles in, make sure the big toe mounds are even, and then open up the upper body, right? Nice open shoulders. And then maybe wiggle the hips side to side just a little bit. And if you tend to go with a short down dog, go a little bit longer here as an opportunity because the legs aren't going to move. They're not going to scoot out from under you. Big deep breath. And then inhale back to your tippy toes, lower your knees to the floor. Undo your toes and just give them a little shake out. Walk your hands a little further forward so that when you extend your leg, your right leg out, you're back at the wall with your right leg. Your left knee is underneath your left shoulder. Good. Take that left foot to, or that right foot to the wall. Level out your hips. Press that leg into the wall. Good. Maybe you look back or you look under and you just try to get it as level as you can. So it's not too high, because if the leg's too high, there goes your low back. It's got to compensate. Now push that foot into the wall. Press your hands into the floor. Move your whole underbelly away from the floor. Breathe. Optional, you know it's coming. Left leg or left arm out, balancing table, much harder at the wall than it is freestyle. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower and lower. And then either child's pose or maybe hero's pose. Just come on off, shake out the wrists and the hands. And breathe. I love wall work. I absolutely love wall work. It is like the ultimate teacher. I can feel when my body parts are off to one side or the other. I can feel where I'm uneven. So it's such a good opportunity to just kind of pay attention to what we normally do. All right, let's go to the other side because there's much more to do. Press your left foot to the wall. I've been wanting to do a wall class on Zoom, but I couldn't quite figure out how to do it with everything. So here we are. Your right knee is under your right hip. Your hips are even. You're pressing into the hands and truly move your belly, move your body away from the floor, right? So everything tones in. Press into the wall. By the way, you could stay here. I'm sorry I didn't say that on the other side. Otherwise, take the left leg up, push the left leg into the floor, level out your hips because that left hip is going to want to drop, and hold here, push into the wall. Optionally, right arm out. And breathe, everybody. Keep the left foot pressing. That's the hardest part. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down, knee down. Nice job. Walk the hands forward. Press the hands away from you. Come to puppy stretch. And find your breath, everybody. Good. Walk those hands back underneath. Flip your toes under. Don't worry about the wall. Come to downward facing dog. In fact, if you're really close to the wall, you probably got to walk away from it just a little bit. Pedal out your feet. Take your feet to the width of your mat and walk those hands back. Bend the knees, hands to knees. Come on up. And just roll it out. Roll it out, shake it out. And then come to the wall. If you can, and not everybody's going to be able to, try to bring your heels to the wall. Your feet are hips width apart. Look at your feet. Now, this gets a little tricky because, right, we got butts in the way. We got stuff in the way. And so when you're this close to the wall, you can really get tippy. If you feel tippy, just take your feet a couple of inches away from the wall and then press the sacral area to the wall. Press the shoulders to the wall. Keep the head level and take the back of the head to the wall. Then turn the palms out. Now, when I turn the palms out, what do I want to do? I want to bring the ribs forward. So I'm going to draw the ribs back, the back of the hands, back of the head, back of the shoulders, back of the heels, back of the sacrum. Whoo, keep bringing the ribs back in. How you doing, Miss Adriana? Good. Yeah, right. Because this is easy for the bendy low back people like me and her, right? It's like, oh, I'll just poke out there and that'll make it easier. No, no, no. Good. Press. Now imagine you're squeezing a block and breathe. If you have the room, one arm up, thumb touches the wall. Bring the shoulder back to the wall. Yes. If you have the room, the other arm goes up, both shoulders. Now, you might move a little away from the wall with those shoulders. That's okay. When you bring the arms up overhead, the ribs have to rotate forward in order for that to happen. So you might move off the wall just a little bit. It's okay. Big deep breath. Press back toward the wall, press back toward the wall, and let go. And then come on away and just shake it out a minute. Right? Simple little stuff. It's like, oh, what just happened? Woo! All right, let's fire up those legs. Careful again, because sometimes when our mats are like this, they can get slippery. So we're going to come into a wall squat. Just check and make sure that your ankles are under the knees as you bend so that you're not pushing too much with the feet forward. And if you feel slippy at all, just come off your mat. Now, here we are again, right? So here's the sacrum. Find the center line of the sacrum. Find the back of the shoulders. Tone the belly ribs in without flattening your back. Bring the shoulders back and take the hands into kind of robot hands. And press the back of the arms into the wall. And just breathe. Now, if your legs start to go, what are you doing, Betty? Watch, the chin's a little high here for you. So I bring the back of the head back. Yeah, and keep it more level. So if your legs start to scream, just push off and then come back. But otherwise, I want you to get a sense. So Betty reminds me of something, right? If your shoulders, if your upper back is rounding, what's going to want to happen, right? To try to get the shoulders back, the chin is going to lift. I would rather the shoulders be back and the head off the wall than the head lifting up to compensate, right? So good neutral spine. How's everybody's legs doing? Are we having a good time? Breathe, push the back of the arms back more. Good, sissy, bring the elbows in a little more. Ah, breathe, 5, 4. I don't know why I like the number 5. I just do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down to the wall and then push off and shake it out. Love wall squats. You can do wall squats with some weights in your hands and do weights while you're doing your legs. So love wall squats. In fact, I love them so much. We're going to do one more. There she goes. She's off, right, Betty? So you decide. Form is so much more important than how low or how high you go. If you're here with just soft bent knees and you got good form, I'm super happy, because what is that? That's really chair pose, right? So this is a squat, more of a squat. So you decide how low. See my mat? It wants to slip. Good. Sacrum, shoulders, arms back. Come into robot arms. Soften the low ribs in a little bit. We don't need them poking out so much. Now, check your feet, check your knees. Ooh, are they parallel to each other? Can I press back into the wall more? Right? Can the head be pretty neutral here? Find your breath. Now, choice. Either here, pressing arms to the wall, or here. It's going to make it harder. Thumbs touching the wall. Breathe. Don't round your back. Don't flatten your back. Keep a little space there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down. Push off the wall. Oh, and come up to standing. Love wall work. I told you I love wall work. All right, you're going to face your wall, everybody. And so we're going to do a series of things at the wall. And again, my one friend who has windows, you could do windows. It would be okay. So take your left foot forward, but keep at least an inch between your big toe or your longest toe and the wall. And then step back with the other leg so that you're in a lunge. Your hands are to the wall. Find the lunge first, right? For me, the left hip has to roll back. The whole pelvis has to lengthen up, pubic bone to belly button. And I have my fingertips to the wall, not flat hands. Open up the shoulders. And then you're going to do something that's kind of silly. You're just going to bring your forehead to the wall and you're going to push away, but you're on fingertips to straight arms. Just 3 of these. Just bend toward wall and push away. One more. Bend toward the wall and push away. Now, as you push away, I want you to get really tall. Press through your back leg, look at your back foot, and try to keep the back foot straight forward. In other words, it's not turned one way or the other. And Adriana, drop your heel. Drop your heel. Yeah, right. So heel toward the floor, hips are level, you're facing the wall. Walk your hands up your wall. Press through your back leg strongly and breathe. Chest is toward the wall, your gaze is to the wall. Here's where it's going to get maybe a little interesting. 1, you're here. 2, come on out. That's a long enough lunge. Or you're going to take both hands and walk them toward the right. Now, notice when you do that, does the knee stay where it should stay? Don't let the knee roll inside or outside. Good. Take the hands more to the right so they're basically out to the side. Pause. Everything else is staying neutral. Chest is moving. Take them down so that they're kind of angled down off to your right side. Breathe. Take them down right in front of you, still fingertips. Palms are face in now. And breathe. Ooh, everybody feeling this? Yeah, good. Take the hands left. Breathe. Push through your back leg. Take the hands high and left. Take the hands center and high. Walk them down to shoulders and then push off that wall. Ooh, and shake it out. All right, other side, left foot or right foot forward, left foot back. Again, your toes are about an inch away from the wall. Check the back foot. Interesting, like so on this side, because of an old ankle injury, I don't like this foot straight so much. It feels weird to me. So I'm playing with this idea that I can keep the back foot straight. I can lengthen through the left leg, engage the left glute. The fingertips are to the front, right in front of your chest. And just feel that. What's going on with the front knee? Is it lined up? Is it rolling in? Is it rolling out? Where is it for your body? And then 3 times, just bend the elbows, forehead toward wall, and push the fingertips out, arms straight. And again, and push. One more. Our head toward the wall and push. Hold right here. This is such a different stretch for me on this side. I can thank my friend Mia for making me aware of this. So it's just, what's happening? All right, fingertips go high. You're looking at your thumbs more or less. The chest is open, the back leg is active, the back glute is active. Deep breath, everybody. And then walk hands to the left, to the left, to the left. Breathe. Walk them more to the left so they're basically level with the shoulders. Watch the front knee. Watch what else is happening with your body. What happened to your back leg? Did it forget? Good. Walk the hands down, still left. Woo. Breathe. Press through your back leg. Keep the back foot pointing straight back best you can. Good. Walk the hands down. Palms are face in. You're still on fingertips. Breathe. Start to walk the hands right. Keep them low. Out to the side. Good. Keep working with the hips. Keep working with what we're doing with the rest of the body. Walk them high, still to the right. Straight overhead. Ooh, there you are. Hands down to your shoulders. Push that wall away from you. And let go. And shake it out. I know. So much fun. Feet to the floor, behind to the wall, not a squat, but bend your knees and come forward. So that was a lot of lunging. Sometimes our low backs can take a little of the weight, especially when we're not noticing that. So just stretch it out. And then hands to knee, come all the way up through neutral spine, up, 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 and back. And step away from the wall. All right, so take your close footed to the wall, your foot closest to the wall, and come on out, wide legs. Now this gets tricky too, right? Because I've got a wall there, so I'm going to put my entire foot to the wall. I don't have my heel out, I don't have my toes away, the entire foot. And I want you to feel how that feels in your hips and pelvis. Make the other foot do the same thing, even though there's no wall there. And then push into the wall. That's all you got to do right now is push into the wall. What do you feel? Do you feel that? Right? Tailbone long, chest is tall, the spine is neutral. We're just working hips. Breathe, everybody. And then deep hinge from these hips. I like to bring those fingers right into the hip hinge. Make your torso as long as possible, and then take the fingertips to the floor or the palms of the hands to the floor. Push into the wall. Press into the wall. Breathe. And then keep your feet exactly where they are. Walk the hands as far out as they'll go out in front of you. Fingertips again. And pretend you're in a really weird down dog. So the upper body is really long. The hamstrings are stretching. The feet are pressing out into the wall and into the imaginary wall. Walk your hands back. Lift up halfway, one hand to your hip, or in fact, go to shins to start, come up halfway, and then come up the rest of the way. While we're here, inhale the arms up. One hand goes down your thigh, the other one goes to the wall. Oh, yeah. Don't overdo. If your stance is too wide, your fingers aren't going to come to the wall easily. Don't force that. Watch any pressure on or around the knee. It should be super light. The wall, you could let go of the bottom hand, right? Because the wall is keeping your pose. And release. And heel toe together. Even that's good for you, this little thing. That's really good for you, right? It's good for your ankles. So don't ever shy away from that kind of stuff. All right. Sorry. We know what has to happen here. My little behind's coming to you. I always feel so funny when I turn my back. All right. So plant the foot against the wall, the whole foot, unless there's pain there, right? Or something real funky. And then mirror it with your other foot and try to press the pinky side of that foot into the wall and then just stand and feel the work in the hips, the glutes, right? As we use the wall as our guide here, as our resistance. Big deep breath. That's it. And then hinge forward. Take your fingertip. I just cannot have my butt to you. So I'm just gonna turn this way. You know what we're doing. Good. Come on down, everybody. I got the same foot on the wall. Good. So come into this nice deep hinge. Check out where your weight is. Are you heavy in the heels? Are you heavy in the toes? Can you come to neutral? Press into that foot that's at the wall. Walk your hands forward. Good. Breathe, everybody. The shoulders are open. Your upper body's in a down dog-ish pose. Press the heel into the wall. Press the other heel into an imaginary wall. Feel what's happening with your legs. And then walk the hands back. Come halfway up. Hands to shins. Come up a little more. Then come up the rest of the way. Your inside hand, the one closest to the wall, is going to go down your thigh. The other one is going to the wall. And breathe. That's it. Find your pose. And come up. Release those hands. Heel toe in and shake it out. Breathe, everybody. So funny. All right, shake it out. And then take your closest foot to the wall. Same thing, pinky side presses against the wall. Always adjust your strap or your mat if you need to. And then go that length again. Don't go super wide, right? There's this whole thing about if you took your hand out and where your wrist drops is where your ankle drops. What you want is stability. So from here, push into that wall, turn the foot that's away from the wall straight. Bend the knee. Here we are. Warrior pose. Love the wall, right? So what's this wall doing? One, it's giving us contact. Two, it's really helping me lift the back foot's inner arch up so it doesn't sink. If it hurts, like really hurts, like your foot's going, seriously, yeah, do what Adriana just did. Take your mat partway up your wall. Thank you for that. I was going to say move away from the wall. Your solution, much better. Check your front knee. Where is it in space? Is it rolling forward and in? Is the front hip rolling in? Can you roll it back? Push against those legs. One hand to the wall, the other one out in front of you, and then gaze forward. And breathe. Some of you can bend the front knee a little more, not everybody, because the wall again is, I don't know, it's probably not the right word, but it's, for me, it's like it keeps you honest. It gives you so much feedback that you go, oh, yeah, right away from the wall, I got some compensations. Here I don't. So just find that. Good. And then straighten the front leg. Take your front hand down to your thigh. Start to roll down, release the top arm, triangle pose. Good. Push into the wall. Keep the lower torso long. That's it. Find your breath. Good. Slide up. Ooh. Turn your toes in and then heel toe in and shake it. Love it, love it, love it. Good. Let's turn around, switch sides. So we got one foot to the wall. We're coming into that same length of lunge. And then we're going to take the foot away from the wall and turn it out straight forward and bend the front knee. Now you'll notice, right, if you start to bend too far forward, what's happened to the foot? It's going to move away from the wall and that inner arch is going to collapse. So play there. Find that. And then, right, front knee, front ankle, the belly tones, warrior two, we're moving the hip away from that front leg a little bit, right? So we're not sinking down, we're lifting away. One hand to the wall, one arm straight out. Find your breath. Some of you can go a little more bend to the knee or a little longer. Some of you should go shorter, right? Where is it in your body? Big deep breath. Find the pose, sink in, breathe. And then straighten the front leg. Just drop your hand down to your leg. And then start to slide down the leg. You can release the hand that's at the wall and take that hand straight up to the ceiling. Breathe, everybody. And slide up. Ooh, hand goes back to the wall. Bring the legs together. Shake it out. Grab one block. Man, time's going fast. Take that block between your thighs. I would take it the short way between the thighs. I realize it's a lot the same color, but you here, let me grab one of your blocks. So that matchy thing. Take the block between your legs, right? And then lean your hips up against the wall. Walk the feet out, not as much, maybe, not squat. Feet or hips width apart, so walk the feet in. And then just tilt and tuck your pelvis. So you're rocking your sacrum away from the wall and back. So the knees are bent, it's just your hips moving. And breathe. Good, just a couple more here. This should actually feel kind of good, right? Little bit of a kind of massage. And then find a relative neutral. So I'm not big arched here. I'm gonna lengthen through the pelvis. I'm gonna press back, the belly tones, the arms come up. Think chair pose. We're a little forward or we're a little deeper squat for chair, but open up the chest. Find your breath. And breathe. You're squeezing that block 20, 30%. Find that. Take the arms forward. Roll the shoulders back. Take the arms out wide. Maybe they come to the wall, maybe not. Breathe. You're looking straight ahead. You're not looking up. You're not looking down. You're not wishing this was over. Breathe. Lower the hands. Palms to the wall. Push. And take that block out. Whew. Right? It's just an amazing, amazing thing. All right. So we got a couple things here I want to do before we call it a day. It's already an hour's already gone by. How's that possible? So we're going to start by facing the wall. And we're going to walk our legs out until we're in an L shape. So it is harder than it seems because I want my wrists. I tend to stay on fingertips here more than flat palms, but you can do either, right? So the wrists and the shoulders line up. And I'm pushing the wall away from me. The ankle bones and the hip bones line up. That's the harder part. We tend to move too far away from the wall. And then the pelvis goes back to neutral, so I'm not sinking into my lower back. I want you to bend both knees a little bit. And then peel one foot off and press that leg back. Good. Toes are pointing down. The arms are pressing away from the wall. This is hard. I struggle with this one. This is a variation of Warrior 3. Breathe. That's it. And then lower. Whew. Keep the hands where they are. Bend both legs. Go to the other side. Right foot peels. The arms press away. Whew. Breathe. You can flex the foot, you can point the foot, try to keep that hip back and lower. Woo. And release. Walk up the wall and come on out. Shake it out. And then grab both of your blocks. We played with this last class. If you happen to be here, again, everything optional, right? You're going to take the blocks to your mat at the highest level. Hardest part of this is finding your distance. So I tend to kind of start to guess. I take 1 foot back and 1 foot forward. You want wrists under shoulders and you want leg under hip. So when I lift off and take my foot to the wall, you can see I'm way too close. I can't straighten the leg. So I got to adjust my front foot, walk the blocks forward more, press into the foot, find your breath. If you don't feel like you're pretty much lined up, then adjust. Your leg does not have to be that high, by the way. It can be down much lower for you. Push strongly into the wall. Find your breath. Good, release. Whew. Try to keep your feet where they are because usually it's pretty close to the same thing on the other side. Just bend and release your knees a little. Lift one heel, then lift the other. All right, let's go to the other side. Squeeze in. Step the leg back. See if you can find the wall. See if you can find level. Woo! Breathe, everybody. In the scheme of things, right? This is low on the hard scale. It's still hard, but it's low on the hard scale. So let's just dig deep if we can. Don't force it ever, but see if you can do it just for one more breath, one more. And exhale and let go. Woo. And then take your hands to your knees and come on up. Oh, I know. Shake it out, everybody. These are tough things. The wall, for me, the wall intensifies everything we do. It's like, holy moly. All right. Let's do tree pose at the wall because it is just so awesome. So awesome. So we're going to come near the wall. We did this one last class too. It is one of my favorite ways to do and teach tree pose. So we talk about it all the time. Where you take, it's the inside legs, knee, go into the wall. If your tree pose is down here, great. Take your foot low, work on the hips. So wherever you normally go there first, right? Ideally, tree pose, the heel is up at the upper inner groin. The standing leg's foot is underneath your hip. Stay. Here's the key, and most of you know this. Find your hip points, right? The hard bony hip points, and point them both forward. I do this every time. I take my hands at my hip points and I open up my fingers and I go, are they straight? Yep, they're pretty straight. How do you know? If my hips are not, my hands aren't going to be straight. They're going to be sideways. So point the headlights, point the hips forward. And then right here, whoo, squeeze it in. Squeeze it into the wall. Now, if you notice, my knee is well in front of my hips. I'm going to come out just a little bit more. Is well out in front of my hip. I don't care where this is. Here where these are. Whoo. Take the arms up. If you want, one hand goes to the wall, right? Just kind of your fingertips go to the wall and breathe. And just feel that if you're squeezing that, yeah, there you go, Lenny. I just saw you do that. If you're squeezing that outer hip in, it will engage and you will feel it, right? So that's what we're talking about. All right, hands to your heart. Om, it's really yoga. And let go. Right, so we, you know, I love you and I want everybody to be mindful. So even if I push you a little, it's not pushing, it's encouraging. And I trust you to listen to your bodies, okay? Because yoga is not about pushing anything, but maybe we just get out to our edges a little if it's okay. All right, let's switch sides. Language. Language is very important, and I want to stay mindful of that. So take your foot where you would normally take it. Woo, right? I feel the hip we just worked. I feel the standing leg we just worked. So find the hip points, point them forward, engage the standing leg, and imagine that somebody is pressing the outer hip in toward the wall a little bit. Good. Once you're here, you should feel really steady. You can take those arms up. You can breathe. You could even close your eyes because the wall is supporting you. Your stance is strong. Breathe. Feel that, everyone. And then release the hands to the heart. Take that leg off and shake it out. Shake, shake, shake. Grab one block. I'm going to be pushing this edge of the time. Oh, pooey. Okay, I don't have time for that. Sorry. Never mind. We'll do that next time. Because otherwise we're going to be really late. All right. So we're going to come down to the wall. And I want you to do it by facing the wall. And if you really like the wall class, let me know. We could do more of it. Inhale, watch. Don't stand so close to the wall that when you do a forward fold, you hit your head. So come on down. Just breathe right here. Let the hamstrings soften. Find your breath. Good. Plant the hands, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Just pedal, just stretch. And then inhale, lift the toes. Exhale, lower the knees, listen up. You're going to have a seat for just a moment. If you can, cross leg. If not, legs are out in front of you. Lift up really tall. You're close to the wall, but not super close. And if you want to just come to Shavasana, go ahead and do that because we're heading there very soon. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, cactus arms. Twist to the wall and then take your hands to the wall. Good. Just a little seated twist. Normally we would do this laying down, but a little seated twist here. The chest is open. If you want so if you're facing right, your right side to the wall, you can let the left hand go down to your knee and just keep the other hand, the back arm, on the wall. Good. Breathe. This should feel really nice. And then release it. Come back to center. Switch sides. So just turn so the other hip is closest to the wall. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, cactus arms. Twist to the wall. Take the hands to the wall and breathe. If you want, the hand that's opposite the way you're twisting can come down to your knee, but the other hand stays at the wall. Big deep breath, soft elbow here. Good. Release. Couple of options here. If you happen to have a blanket or a bolster, but a blanket will do, I want you to take the blanket and just spread it at the base of your mat. And you can either have it flat, kind of like this, or you can fold it because your hips are going to go under that optionally. I want to give you two poses here. One is legs up the wall with your hips on the blanket. And ideally, the blanket's rounded edge is closest to where your head will be. So you got a even edge on one side. So First option is not legs up the wall, but what I love this pose. I call it the rescue position. Anytime my back is giving me grief, I go 90-90 at the wall. So 90 means ankle to knee, knee to hips, nothing working to hold that. If you're not at that 90-degree angle, something is having to tighten to hold you there. So this would be my first option for you for Shavasana. The second option would be similar 90-90. You just straighten the legs so the heels are up at the wall, but you're not locking the knees out. The knees have to stay soft. Or you know what to do. Come to the blanket. Come really close, one side hip to the wall to slide legs up the wall to do legs up the wall pose. The blanket, either you will love it or it won't feel right. It should be supporting the pelvis, the hips, but not into the lower back. Legs up the wall, arms out to your sides. Deep breath. And then let gravity take you here. Let the gravity work to soften your whole body to the floor. I used to think of like a stick of butter on a warm or a hot Florida day and seeing that stick of butter just melt slowly, softly down. So whichever pose you choose, and by the way, a traditional Shavasana is awesome here as well. Let it be soft. Let the jaw slacken so that there is space between your teeth. So that there are pools of liquid behind the eyes, just softening. Feel the breath even out. And know that wherever you are is enough. Wherever you are is love and acceptance. If your thoughts begin to wander, just bring them back to this very moment. Deep breath in and deep breath out. For those of you in the pose that want to stay in the pose, please stay. For those of you who are ready, just start to, if your legs are up, just start to bend the knees and bring them in toward your chest. Hug them in. If you're in a traditional Shavasana, go ahead and bend the knees and bring them in as well, rocking side to side until those knees fall to one side or the other. And then curl all the way up. Come to a seat, maybe lean up against the wall. Bring your hands to your hearts. Bow to your own inner guidance. Always listening for that still voice to help you on your way. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.